Oh, and we're live from La California, Lipstick City. I'm Ross the Boss. I'm here with Casey, lad to the bone, Shinefold, and he is in Pennsylvania, a small little Quaker town. Shaved beard for us, so he looks good today. And Casey, we're in what, week 9 or week 10?
I think we might be week 10. I think it's week 10.
We're 2 months into it. I mean,
we're flying.
And I was thinking, like, what are the biggest, before we talk about waiver wire and what names we want to give you, I was thinking, like, what are the biggest surprises to you? I have my list, and I can do my list. You can just comment if you want. But what's some of the biggest surprises so far in Major League Baseball that you're kind of like, oh, I didn't expect that. You know what I mean? Like, wow.
Biggest surprises that, well, I'll go with a bit of irony that people are shocked that the Dodgers pitching is mostly on the disabled list. When you sign the likes of Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell and these Japanese pitchers who've never done a 5-man rotation, like, who's shocked that these people who never throw more than 5 innings or never more than 130 innings in a season are suddenly disabled or on the IL? So, like, if anybody's shocked by that, it's crazy. I'm shocked that I have to say that the front runner for MVP, or one of the front runners other than Aaron Judge, let's throw him out, is like Cal Raleigh. I know he's like a power hitter, but he's been insane. How about Pete Crow Armstrong is probably one of the front runners in the National League. It's the individual players I'm shocked by. Team results, I don't think I'm as shocked by anything there. I mean,
well, we're shocked. Listen, hold on. You're shocked about the Colorado Rockies. I know we both said
how bad they are. Yeah, but
I mean, I'm kind of shocked that they could easily break the record for the worst record ever in baseball history.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm shocked by how bad.
I'm also shocked in the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals, I did not predict them to do that well, and they're playing good baseball in St. Louis. I hate them.
They are.
You know? I mean, I like the Cardinals, and I mean, look at the AL Central. I mean, look at that. Look how powerful that division is. You and I both predicted like maybe one team. Well, one team has to make the playoffs, but I didn't predict like 3 teams would make the playoffs.
I thought maybe one of them could make the wild card. How about how bad the Orioles have been?
That's a great one. Nathan Eovaldi of the Rangers, 35 years old. Casey, I mean, we're talking Cy Young voting. I mean, he gets a vote. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be he'll win, but he'll get some votes. I mean, he's been on fire the whole year. Also, Javier Baez. I mean, you and I both, like, we talked about him 5 years ago. When he was relevant, but now in Detroit, I mean, this guy's tearing it up. I mean, he's doing what he was supposed to do 5 years ago. He's doing now.
And Chris Bubik in Kansas City, he's got to be a Cy Young guy right now with Max Fried in the AL.
Big talk, Max Fried, and your boy Skirble pitched a beautiful game over the weekend, or was it yesterday?
He's amazing.
I mean, he pitched a complete game shutout, and Pete Crow Armstrong, huge. I mean, no one expected him to have these MVP numbers that he's doing. I mean, he's just been on fire. So
I certainly had him as a bust candidate. So he goes along with my Ellie De La Cruz from last year. I always call a bust in the National League.
I love it. I should just take your busts and make them your
MVP. Like, put some money on them. Yeah,
that's what I should be doing. But I mean, I mean, baseball has been like. It really has been exciting this year, I feel, just because of all the surprises. And I love when the Dodgers get hurt, and I love when teams call up young players like in May and June before the All-Star game. And somebody that the Red Sox brought up over the weekend that you talked about last week is made his debut. And
he made his debut, Marcelo Mayer. Yeah, the Alex Bregman injury. We talked about the 2 Red Sox prospects who are both top 10 in baseball, in Roman Anthony and Marcelo Mayer. Anthony's probably the better overall prospect, certainly for fantasy purposes. But because of injuries, Mayer gets the call first. Bregman's going to be out for a while, it looks like, with his quad injury. So, you know what? There's room for him. He's a sweet swinging left-handed player who's got some pop in his bat. Not going to run for you, but the average – the RBIs and the power are all pretty legit for a shortstop.
Yeah, I mean, again, you were on top of him like beginning of the season. I mean,
Well, it's hard not to be. The guy was the number 4 overall pick a couple
well,
years
still,
ago.
you brought his name up, and we both said like, well, where's he going to play? Because the Red Sox spent all this money on Bregman.
And Trevor Story, yeah.
And Trevor Story and Devers, who's crying about not playing third base. Just DHs now. But I mean, the Red Sox, I still think the Red Sox are not going to be contending for that pennant. I mean,
I think they'll be they're a wild card contender.
Really?
Yeah, they don't have the depth in that starting rotation to compete for the pennant.
I don't think they'll win 80 games. That's me. I don't think they'll
Wow.
finish. I just don't feel that they're good of a team. I don't think they play well together. And I think the bullpen is really suspect. And their starting pitching is mediocre as best, but that's my opinion. Casey, who else is on your waiver wire pickup for this week? And we talked about it, like you mentioned Shaw, the third baseman for the Cubs. I mean, he's 70%. I mean, you know what I mean?
He just took off.
I mean,
if you want to get out in front of somebody, and it's somebody I've mentioned before, it's Jack Caglianone from the Royals.
And tell me how you spell Jack real quick.
JAC.
Thank you.
He's been at AAA. They call him up to AAA. They haven't played in the outfield now because first base is obviously, Vinny Pasquantino. And he's homered I think he homered in 4 straight games at one point in the past 6 games. He's hitting .318. His strikeout rate is lower than people expected. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be a strikeout guy, but I mean, who are the Royals running out there in the outfield? Drew Waters, Michael Massey, Kyle Isbell, not these names that inspire fear.
I'm shocked you knew those people. I mean,
well, I only knew them because I read the lineup to make sure I knew what I was saying. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have been able to. So he's somebody, if I could add him onto my bench right now, because his power is legit.
Yeah. You see his exit velocity? I mean, I think he has
it's over 107 miles an hour. Yeah,
I think he broke a record in minor league baseball or something.
So recently. He's the guy in the minors right now who I think is the one I would add, especially if I had room on my bench for outfielders.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely has people's eye right now. I mean, people are writing articles about him. People are talking about him, and he should be called up, I would say, in the next week. Does that sound good?
I would hope so, but who knows? If the Royals are trying to control service time, I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah, I mean, I would bring up these young studs sooner than later. You're just wasting away in Margaritaville, as I like to quote Jimmy Buffett. But it's something that I feel that people should do more often with these young players, to bring them up and just get rid of look what the Dodgers did with Chris Taylor. And
Austin Barnes. They DFA'd him
Austin
both.
Barnes, they released Chris Taylor, and now he started yesterday for the Angels. They signed him, and he was 0 for 3, and he struck out twice. Well, I wonder why
they lost to my Yankees.
Yeah, I wonder why the Dodgers dumped him. I mean,
right?
He's not.
So who do you got, Ross?
So I like who's pitching really well. He's been hurt, but he came back. He's pitched 4 games already for the Marlins. Is Ryan Weathers. His ERA is like 1.13 or something. It's like 1.13, and he's been the past 4 starts. He's been on fire. I mean, I know it's the Marlins, but if he gets 6-7 innings a game and he's not giving up many runs, might as well pick him up. He's throwing in the high 90s, and he's getting strikeouts too. I mean, this guy. Where he is right now, I think he's like 30% owned. But it's somebody that I would definitely go after. And I know people don't pick him up because he plays for the Marlins, but regardless, he's one of the best starting pitchers right now in baseball in the past 2 weeks. I suggest you pick him up. Somebody else I like that plays for the Padres that never really got a fair shot to start every day, but he is this year, is Gavin Sheets. He has 10 home runs and he's hitting 283. I don't think he'll keep up the 283. He'll probably go down to 260, 250. But I mean, he has 10 home runs already.
Including 2 the other day in Toronto.
Yeah, his career high is 15, so he should pass that by mid-June. I mean, this guy, if he gets a chance to play, I know he's 29 years old. I know he's in his prime, but because all that stuff combined, I just feel that if you need a player that somebody's hurt and you need like a guy to take his place, Gavin Sheets is having a really good season, and the Padres have a really good lineup too. Even though they're playing poorly lately, I just feel like Gavin Sheets will. I see him having. I would say about this. I say he has 30 home runs and 95 RBIs. About that, Casey.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is a bold prediction.
Well, he
You
has
know,
10 right now.
I'm not a believer yet, obviously, because he's 29 years old and hasn't done this before. But
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you play streamers, he's a pretty good streamer to play. He reminds me a little bit of Taylor Ward, another guy who I've never fully bought into, who just seems to put up numbers. So
yeah, wow.
I could be wrong about him. I don't know, but I didn't have him on my list, but I agree with that. I'm at the part of the season where I look at prospects, as you know, but I also look at IL players coming back. Yuri Perez, the pitcher for Miami, is up to throwing over 60 pitches in his rehab starts, and a couple starts. If he gets up to 80 pitches, I think you'll see him up in the majors soon. And we know what the upside is with him. And then another guy is Parker Meadows. Not a lot of people talking about him in Detroit. He's been injured. He started off last season slow, but he played great the second half of the season, putting up in 45 games, 6 home runs or 7 steals, or 7 home runs and 6 steals with almost a 300 average. You know, and Detroit is one of the best offenses in the league right now. And if they plug him in and he starts to produce, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for him. He was the better of the Meadows brothers in terms of prospects when he came up. So he's somebody I might target because he's not very well owned. And then last, I think you got to look at Daniel Palencia if you're looking for a closer. Presley has been really bad in the Cubs line.
What happened? I mean, Presley, like he signed this big
I don't know, but he hasn't been good this year. He's walking a lot.
Horrible.
And so Palencia has been getting the chances. He got the last 2 saves. His problem is walks also, but he can fan batters, which Presley hasn't been able to do. And the Cubs, let's be honest, they're one of the hottest teams in baseball. They're one of the best overachievers. So there's going to be a lot of chances for saves. So if he can nail down that job, that's somebody who you can get off the waiver wire as a top 10 to 15 closer upside if he keeps the job, just because of the opportunities he'll get. Those are the rare players when we talk about why we don't rank closers very well in the preseason, because there's always 1 or 2 that come out of nowhere, and maybe Palencia is that guy this year.
I think that's a great one. I mean, it's like every year there's always the closer that always has like 35, 40 saves, and no one's ever heard of him. Like he just was in the minors his whole life, and he comes out and he gets the job as the closer. It happens every year. Somebody else, Casey, you're good with these young players, and this guy plays for a team that I would never say I would want to pick up from this team, but he plays for the White Sox, and he's the starting shortstop. It's Chase Midrow. 23 years old. He's hitting 296. I mean, this guy, is this guy somebody that you would target? I mean, would you start this guy if you need it? Let's say hypothetically you have Corey Seager, and Corey Seager's on the DL, which I actually have Corey Seager in our league, but it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is, would you feel comfortable picking this guy up and starting him?
You know, if I was desperate for a shortstop, and he has multi-position eligibility, which helps. I mean, he doesn't have power. His career high in steals was 13 last year, although he has 8 this year. So who knows?
And
maybe
remember,
he's going to run
13-game hitting streak too, Casey.
Oh yeah, he's a batting average guy. He hit over 290 last year in the minors, but he doesn't have a lot of upside in multiple categories. Right. So I would use him as a placeholder if I thought Seager was going to be back in a few weeks. You know, he might be a good one to hold the fort down until you can get Seager. But the upside does not scream somebody I would run out and get. I'd much rather have a Zach Neto who has that power upside, or someone, or even Marcelo Mayer if you could get him.
Marcel's good too. Somebody else I want to ask you about. He started off really bad. I mean, this guy. I had him as one of my top 10 catchers actually beginning of the year, and then everybody dropped him after the first 2 weeks. He couldn't hit anything. Is Gabriel Moreno?
Yep, and now he's hot again.
Now ever since May, Casey, he's hitting over 300. Since May.
I mean, he's not Cal Raleigh. He's not going to hit more than double digits home runs. He doesn't run at all, but batting average, he's going to be consistent. He's going to knock in a few runs. He's going to score a few runs, enough to keep you viable at catcher, even in single catcher leagues. So I agree with you that he's a pickup.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking pickup wise, for catchers, especially if you're in a 2-catcher league, he's not a bad pickup. I feel that he's one of the top 20 catchers hitting right now. Casey, anybody else on your list that we missed that you want to talk about before we go?
Not necessarily. No, I mean the Nationals called up Robert Hassel III, one of their prospects, who's a kind of a speed batting average guy, and the Nationals are a very aggressive base running team. I think they're in the top 5 in the league or something like that in steals, but 5th or 6th, somewhere around there. So he's if he gets the at bats, especially with Dylan Cruz going down with the oblique injury, there's a chance to get some valuable rotisserie categories out of him. But again, that's if you need a 4th outfielder, maybe even a 5th. I wouldn't put him as one of the top 3.
I love James Wood. I like what the Nationals are doing with the youth movement. They're doing it right. And they have a lot. Their team it's not a bad team. I mean, it's not like, I think they'll win over 80 games, the Nationals. I really do. I think they'll surprise a few people in July and August. I think they'll heat up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, Casey, we will be back early Thursday, 9:30 my time, 12:30 your time. More waiver wire, more pickups. People that we didn't talk about today, we'll talk about on Thursday. And then later that day, we'll go with Dr. Dan Ratner, where we talk about everything that's in the news.
Anything sports that comes across our plate that we want to talk about.
Topics we'll debate. Last week we talked about Pete Rose and shoeless Joe Jackson making the Hall of Fame. This week I'm not quite sure what Dr. Dan has underneath his hat, but maybe it'll be something great. We'll see. But we'll see everybody on Thursday. And thanks for watching. I'm Ross the Boss, and that's Casey Vlad.